Alrighty guys, this is probably one of my first videos I've done working on my 91 735i. I am on the passenger rear side. I was going to replace my wheel bearing, and this hub assembly here is a little bit different than my front ones. There's no center axle nut on this side anyways. So I have been researching, nothing. Have not found anything about this particular wheel bearing removal process. So after troubleshooting, I'm around to the back side over here. Oh, let's see. I have taken this side shaft off here. Just undid the 8 bolts that are right here, and come to find out, let's see if I can get it, there is a nut on the inside of this. So first I gotta take this off. I'm not sure what size nut that is. It's probably like a 32 or something like that. I'll figure that out and get back with y'all. Alright, see you in a bit. Alrighty guys, I was able to get this axle nut off of here. Ended up being a 36 millimeter. And I didn't have enough room to use my breaker bar, so I had to use my impact here. Well, this is it. I guess this is a almost like a just a retaining clip to hold the nut in place instead of like a cotter pin like on the front. But yep, so I got that off. Now I need to work on getting the actual I guess it's the hub off. Alright, I'll be back. Alrighty guys, I was finally able to get this hub assembly off here. I drilled some holes right here for the lug nuts to fit inside of, so when I'm using this bearing puller, it doesn't turn on me as much. It gives me something to hold on to. So what this is this piece here goes underneath the bearing lip right there. Then you have these support arms, I guess is what they're called, that goes over and they lock down with these, using these nuts and washers. And then you can use what is it? It's 11/16 to push down in the middle part here, and it just kind of squeezes it out. So I'm going to continue doing that till it comes off. Alrighty, I got this inner. This is the outer piece of the bearing that was stuck on here on the spindle here. I was able to pull it off all the way. Just comes out like that. Just comes off straight like that. So the rest of the bearing, let's walk over here. Oh, it's still very much in place, and from the looks of it, it's time. So I don't know if y'all can see right here where the snap ring is. It's real dark, so I'm probably gonna finish this up tomorrow. I'll take the snap ring out, then squeeze the rest of that bearing out and put the new bearing in. So that is that. Alrighty guys, I'm back. Got the hub separated off the bearing that broke, and right now I'm using my bearing puller to get the rest of this off. I'm using the 92 millimeter and the 71.5 on the back. And to make this job a lot easier, went out, spent the money, I got one of these big ratcheting wrenches. On there like that. And you just start cranking down. So take me a while to do this, and I'll get back with you. So this is my bearing puller. This is the back plate. This is the old bearing right here. This is the cup that the bearing slides into. I'll take the rest of this off here. This is the piece I have my ratcheting wrench on. Okay, so y'all can see some of the parts. Here's the old inner bearing. It's pretty nasty. There's the old snap ring I'm going to be replacing as well. And the rubber grommet. That's the piece that was stuck to that hub on this thing. Sorry for the shaky camera. You got your washer. That goes with the toolkit. Set this up on end. Slide this out. There is the end. Alright. So I'm replacing this joker because it is making a lot of noise. Pretty nasty. So, alright guys, so one thing you want to make sure when you're putting your new bearing is comparing it. You want to make sure that it's the same height, which this is, the same width all around, which it is. Got these bearings quite a while ago. I got them from Rock Auto Parts. Wonderful website. I highly recommend Rock Auto Parts. Also got my new snap ring here. I got this here. I'm putting that on. Yeah, that's that. So I'm going to start doing that. Oh, one thing I want to mention over here as well is where it's going to be going in. You want to make sure you clean that out really well. Use brake cleaner. You can never use enough brake cleaner. Works wonderfully. You don't want this grit and stuff in here scratching up the inner race here, so make sure you clean that up really well before you try to press anything in. And once I get it cleaned up and I'll get it assembled, I'm going to press it in and I'll get back with you. Alrighty guys, so I got the new bearing right here. Put a little bit of grease on there so it'll slide in a little bit easier. Got this here, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that this plate is on the outer edge, the outer rim. If you get it on the inside rim, you're bound to push the inside bearing out the other side. So you want to make sure that it's touching the outer rim here. The one I'm using for that, 73 2 7/8, or whichever it is. I'm using that. I'm using the through cup. It doesn't have the small hole, but it's just like a coupler. And I'm also using this on the back side to hold the coupler in place, the 78 millimeter. All right, so this is actually going pretty easy right now. You can see it's going in just fine. So I'll finish this up and get back with you. Alrighty guys, so that slid in just fine. It's like a glove. So I got that in. I'm about to put the snap ring back in. Let me go around to the back side and show you here. Oh. Once again, sorry for the shakiness of this. You want to make sure that you can see my finger, where it is. There it is. Okay. You want to make sure that the back of the bearing is flush in the back here. You don't want to have any leeway. You'll also kind of know how far back because the snap ring will either fit or not. If it doesn't fit, get your puller back on there and push the bearing back some more, and then it'll the snap ring will go on just fine. So I'm gonna put the snap ring back in, and I'll get back with y'all. Alrighty guys, I got the snap ring in. Unfortunately, I bought some snap ring pliers with different attachments, but they were not wide enough. So I ended up having to use some needle nose pliers. They worked. A little scary, but they worked. And see how they seat all the way down in there? I don't know if you can get a good view of that or not. So they're in there. I'm about to put the hub back on, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, I'm back. Had a little issue getting this hub back on. Since there's no center hole to put the bearing puller / pusher back on, to slide this hub, or to press this hub in, what I had to do is reattach the drive shaft here, or this side shaft, with this back piece on here to hold the inner race of the bearing, so it wouldn't be pressed out when I pushed this in. I messed up one bearing already. I bought two to do both sides. I messed the first one up. I pushed the inner bearing, or the inner race, out, so I screwed it up. Had to redo it. Got that in though. Got the new bearing pushed back in to here. I attached all this, and I actually had to find a way to clamp this to this dust shield so it wouldn't move out. After we did that, I was able to tap this in and got it tapped in all the way. I took this back off because there's a nut inside here. Took this back off, put the nut back on, got it torqued, put this back on, and now we're ready to go. This thing is solid now. So that is how you do that. I'll catch y'all later. Yeah.